load this dating app, matches with one of Brett's friends, and then the friend tells Brett. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Apparently Ashley, and today we're talking about Married at First Sight, Season 13, Episode 15. So this week, it was all about childhood roots. So the couples took their spouse to like their childhood homes, showed them cute little pictures, and just told them about their upbringing just to give some more insight into how they were as a child and like how that influenced who they are today. A few of them also wrote letters to their younger selves, which was such a cute exercise, and that just gave them some additional insight as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the first couple. All right, we're starting with Michaela and Zack because after last week, I needed to know how she was gonna dig herself out of this hole, and did she dig? So she was basically trying to make Zack feel bad. The sad part is, I don't think she was doing it intentionally. They all met with Dr. Pepper. So she's sitting there with Dr. Pepper and Zack, and she's just talking about how like, I can't believe he abandoned me. Like, I've been trying to reach out to him and he hasn't been responding to me. Like, that's just adding on to these feelings of abandonment. And it was just like, girl, do you not recognize what you did to play a part in all of this? Like, what? And of course, Dr. Pepper had to call her out. I wish she would have went a little harder. And she was just like, I'm gonna need you to work on your reactions, girl, okay? Because you are explosive and this is not healthy. She was sitting there saying like, Zack just paints me to have these big reactions. And I'm like, girl, roll the tape back. You do. Like, he don't have to paint you this way. You have painted yourself this way. And Zack, he's just sitting there looking like, I'm done with this. Like, he looks like he's boiling. That's what he looks like. Like, his top is about to blow. When it's his time to speak, he was just like, you know what? I can't have this conversation with you. He was like, I gotta go. Because Michaela was just saying so many ridiculous things that like if he would have responded, he would have flipped, okay? And I respect him for walking out because he would have hurt that girl's feelings. Michaela was just, to her, that was just adding fuel to her fire. She was just like, see, he just always leaves. Like, I'm not even doing anything. And look, he just got up and walked away. And I'm like, your issues run deep, girl. Like, rolling in the deep, deep, girl. So at that point, I'm thinking they are done, right? Like, I'm thinking we're not going to see any more from them until decision day. But apparently, Zack calls like this closure meeting. And I was like, closure meeting, what? And so they get there, and to me, it sounded like he just wanted a good Yelp review from Michaela. Like, I just want her to know that like I tried and I put in effort, and I want her to say that so that I know that we're on the same page, right? He was sitting there saying like, oh, like I'm open to talk if you want to talk. Like, basically, we don't know like where this can go, like what the future holds type of thing. And then they done flip places because now she's like, I'm done. And Zack's trying to make it work because she was just like, I got my closure. Like, I'm good. I don't got nothing else to do with this, right? And Dr. Pepper made them like touch and stuff and was just like, tell each other that you'll talk about this and like just, you know, be on the same page or whatever. So I don't know. It is so much up and down with them. Like, it is not healthy. It's not okay. It's exhausting, I would assume, but like they sitting here trying to make this work. And so I'm just like, you know what? Y'all do you. I've said this before, that like Zack says things that he thinks he's supposed to say, but I don't think he really means it. Like, for him to be like, oh yeah, I'm open to talk about this. Like, if you want to talk today, tomorrow, a year from now, like my door's always open. And I'm just like, you don't mean that. Like, you don't want anything to do with this woman. And I think he just says that because he doesn't want to be perceived as this like bad guy in the relationship, right? Hence the Yelp review that he wanted from her. Like, I need you to say to other people that I'm a 5-star boyfriend, okay? Well, husband, whatever. Y'all know what I mean. All right, let's move on to Bao and Johnny. So they took each other to their childhood homes, read letters to their younger selves to each other. And so it was like really emotional for both of them. They both definitely got some more like insight into each other. And when Bao was reading the letter to herself, Johnny had this like revelation of like, man, like I think I am like my parents, where I think it's okay to leave because I saw them leave each other. So essentially, like, I'm gonna have these high expectations for my relationship, and when you don't meet them, I'm gonna leave because I was shown that it's okay for me to walk away, right? So he's basically like self-sabotaging in a way. So after that, you would think everything's about to be like on the up and up for them, like he's gonna start actually like putting in work for this marriage, but no. They're sitting down talking to Dr. Pepper, and apparently Johnny has a conversation with one of Bao's friends. The friend was just like, this is how Bao is. Like, she breaks people down and she wants them to lean on her, and then she builds them back up in the way that she wants them to be. So this is nothing new for Bao to act this way in a relationship. And so Johnny was just like, that is what I needed to know so I could get out of here. So he's dropping this bomb in the middle of the Dr. Pepper meeting. And so Bao was like blindsided, and Dr. Pepper was like, dang, you didn't even give Bao a chance to like combat any of this. Like, you just heard it and you made up your mind, right? She was just like, can you please give her a chance to at least like counter argue these thoughts you got in your head? When they're talking afterwards, Bao was just like, first of all, I don't tell that friend anything because she gives horrible advice. And I was just like, okay, well then why is she your friend? But maybe she just meant like horrible relationship advice, but anyway. And she was like, she doesn't try to help me see the positives in the situation. She'll just tell me to cut my losses and move on. And I was like, maybe this girl is like single, and so since Bao is married, she's like, I'm not gonna ask for advice from my single friends, which I hear married people say to like newly married people, like that's their like advice they give or whatever. Johnny was basically feeling like what the friend said validated how he was already feeling. And so that just gave him like more fuel to just like go ahead and walk out the door. So what does he do? He walks out the door and leaves Bao there with the champagne and the dinner by herself. I was like, dang, where your keys at? Like, you didn't even grab nothing. He just left. Johnny is being Johnny yet again. And even when Bao was saying something similar to that, he was like, do you see how that looks like you're blaming me? And I'm like, Johnny, this is your fault. Like, yeah, Bao's not perfect, but like, again, where's the accountability? Look at what you have contributed to this marriage for why it is the way it is. I don't know. I am sick of him. I think they only have like less than a week left of decision day, but I wouldn't be mad if they don't even make it there. Go ahead and say no, Bao. Leave that man. All right, next we're going to talk about Myrla and Gil. Their biggest issue this episode was, again, about finances. So we all know Myrla makes more money than Gil. He was saying how like her spending is going to be an issue because like if they're trying to save for a house or like save for a kid and stuff, like her spending habits on like things like shoes and purses and all that will get in the way of that. And she was just like, I've already been saving like crazy and still buying what I want, living this lifestyle. So like, why does it have to change when I get married to you? And you know me, I was like, I could have it all. Like, why can't she do it all? And he was just like, well, let's give the example of if we were trying to save for a house in 3 years, if we could do it in 1.5, then let's just do that. And we could do that if you just stop spending so much. Like in my mind, if y'all set a goal for like, let's save for a down payment on a house in 3 years, and then you're like, well, I know we set the goal for 3 years, but let's do it in 1.5 years. And then she has to sacrifice something for that. Then like, we should have set the goal for 1.5 years. Like what? He does not, we know he's not motivated by money, but it's also like, you're not even living to enjoy like the fruits of your labor. Like you're getting money from your job, but then like, what are you doing with it? Like he just wants to save, and like hoard all this money. Whereas like she's actually enjoying her life with the money that she works hard for. And you would think he would be at least a little more understanding because she told him more about her background, how she grew up really poor. That's why she's motivated to work so hard so that she can live this lifestyle because she wants to make her mom proud and she wants to enjoy things that she didn't get to enjoy when she was a little kid. And it's like they both grew up poor, but they obviously have two different mindsets on money from that experience. I hope that they can come to like a middle ground, meet in the middle somewhere because they need to get over this hump. All right, let's talk about Rachel and Jose. So when they met with Dr. Pepper, we find out that when Rachel got locked out of the house by Jose, her husband, let's not forget, she called her ex-boyfriend and stayed the night over there. And so my initial thought was like, did you call your friends too? Because I couldn't remember, y'all, because I know she was banging on Brett's door and banging on Myrla's door, but I couldn't remember if she also called her friends, like if she said that or not. So whether she did or not, she calls her ex-boyfriend, goes over there. So she tells Jose, and y'all know Jose is like once a cheater, always a cheater. And so she was just like, I don't know how he's gonna react to this because she knew she was going to tell him, but she wanted to make sure she wasn't telling him in a way that was like, oh, I'm trying to make him mad, right? Like, she wanted the environment to be like a positive one. They spend like all night talking about it, and at the end he does say that like, I'm gonna choose to trust her. So I was proud of him for that, because he's talked about how like one of his parents cheated on the other one, and like trust is a big thing for him. So for him to be like, you know what, I'm gonna choose to believe her and I'm gonna trust her, like, that looks promising for them. And another thing Rachel talked about, they were talking to Dr. Pepper about like triggers and stuff, and she was like, yeah, I've learned that like Jose needs space when we're in a heated argument, because if I don't give him space, then he could like say something that'll hurt my feelings, and that'll just like escalate the argument even more. And so she was like, but for me, if I give him space, that just makes me feel rejected, because oh, he's mad at me and he doesn't want to talk to me, like red flags, right? And I was like, oh girl, this is so relatable, because I think I've said this on here before, where like I struggle with the whole let me give you space and time thing, because I want to just like talk about it and like work through it and get it over with and like keep it moving, right? I definitely understand that feeling of rejection, of just like, oh, so you mad and you need this space? Like, I feel like the relationship is over. Anyway, y'all comment below, like, how do y'all feel about giving your partner space during an argument? Like, are you the type to want to just like keep talking about it? Do you need space? Let me know down below. All right, last we're gonna talk about Brett and Ryan. Ryan is garbage. So we all know that he has checked out of this marriage, but this man had the nerve to download Tinder. They didn't say Tinder, but I'm saying Tinder. Download this dating app, matches with one of Brett's friends, and then the friend tells Brett. And so she confronts him about it, and she was just like, yeah, like my friend just sent this to me about like 10 minutes ago, like right when y'all matched or whatever. Explain yourself. I was like, what are you gonna say to get out of this? And he was bum fumbling around, and he was like, well, it wasn't supposed to be active. Like, I did download it today, but it was supposed to show inactive. And I'm just like, it doesn't matter if it was inactive. You downloaded it today. Because he was like, I didn't talk to anybody. Okay, but you downloaded it. Like, did you think that was okay? And so he was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go, because they were supposed to have their whole like childhood moment or whatever, but that was cut short. And he ends up texting her and was just like, it was meant to show that I was active after decision day. And I was just like, I can't believe you said that. So they are definitely done. He is checked out. All right, y'all, that wraps up my review of Married at First Sight season 13 episode 15. I did talk about how the couples wrote letters to their younger selves, and I actually have a video about that on my channel, so go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that button below and give me a thumbs up while you're down there. Don't forget to comment below your thoughts and opinions on this week's episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.